In this session, I'm going to quickly go through how to print with a format. As you can see, when you print out integer or string, normally it looks okay. But if you print out a double, Java will print out a long string of every precision it has. So what you can do is you can use the system.out.printf method to perform formatted console output. The general format of the method is system.out.printf format string and with some argument. Here is an example. If your print line use a regular print line with this d, which equals to 122 divided by 3, you get this long double string. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it's a 15 digits. 15 digits, and I don't think any people would like to see 15 digits in your printout report or in your bank statement, right? So what Java does is it provides this system out print to provide you with a format string that you can use. The format string is a string that contains text and special formatting specifiers telling Java how the output should look like. An argument list is a list of additional arguments that will be formatted according to the format specifiers listed in the format string. The example is like, printf, if you do not have anything else, just hello world, then it's the same as a regular print. If it's an integer, then it's a regular integer. However, here, the format string has a %d. This %d will be mapping to this hours, this integer variable. D here is for integer. That you will print out this variable based on the format specified in here, %d. The %d format specifier indicates that the decimal integer will be printed and the content of hours will be matched to this %d. If you have two integers here, you can have 2 %d and there's a one-to-one mapping. The first maps to the first variable or first argument matches the first %d, the first specifier. The second variable matches the second specifier. And you can also use %f. %f without any specification is the same as just printing out. But you can specify how many decimal places you want to have with a %.2f. That means you want to have 2 decimal points for this double printout. And this .2f specifier indicates that the floating point value will be printed rounded to 2 decimal places. And you can also have a comma here, which indicates that you will add a comma to the value if it exists 3 digits. And you can also use a %s for string printout. Also, you can imagine that for integer, you can also have a number here specifying it will appear in the field that is 6 spaces wide. Similarly, for float or double, you can also have this 6 to indicate there are 6 spaces. One of them is the decimal point. Remember, one of them is the decimal point, and the 2 are rounded, the decimal places you will run to, which leaves your whole number part to only 3 digits. So when you print out using this format, remember to calculate your space very carefully. Do not make it truncate. So here are some examples and some of the string formatting that you can also use. that you can put a string.format similarly to generate a string of output. And we also have some some samples Javas. I'm not going to go through this in detail for two reasons. First of all, this user interface, this output regarding user interface is relatively advanced, and you won't actually have to work with them until you start your real job, which will put more emphasis on user interface. And the second, in these days, this console output are less and less popular. Most people are using string output in GUI, in a graphic user interface. At that time, when you start using graphic user interface, you will have more options to use for formatting. Now, graphic user interface is covered in our textbook, but it's not covered in this book, in this course. We will only talk about console output and console input and the very simple graphic user interface like that dialog box. So for this reason, I'm not going to go through this in detail, but it's worthwhile to read through it. And these are actually very popular Java interview questions that you may want to get familiar with.